Mister Mellow is the latest album by Washed Out, who joins us here at the Fox Theater in Oakland. Welcome back to the Bay Area.
Thanks, man. Yeah, excited to be here.
This is not an unfamiliar place to you. You've been here numerous times. You've played festivals and those kind of things.
Sure.
Favorite places to go? Prefer Oakland versus San Francisco?
To be honest, I don't know if we've played here in Oakland before. I feel like most of the gigs we've done like Treasure Island and Outside Lands, but all of the like headlining gigs we've done have been in San Francisco. So yeah, we'll see how it goes tonight.
As you've evolved as an artist, the live show always has to have something new, something different,
Sure.
An extension of the new piece of material that you have released, right?
Sure, yeah.
And this time around, Mister Mellow, it definitely has different sounds, especially a little bit more of a hip-hop influence that
Sure.
has been talked about, jazz, those kind of things. And I guess a lot of the curiosity is around the fact that you switch labels.
Sure.
Right? Stone's Throw, that is a little bit more hip-hop
Sure.
centric.
Yeah. I mean, I love all kinds of music, and for anyone that's ever seen me DJ, like that's what I love, is kind of pulling songs from all over the spectrum and trying to squeeze them in a set to make them work together. And so I think with this new record, compared to a lot of the other ones I've done, it is a mishmash of a lot of different things. But yeah, I would say hip hop is probably the most prominent. The end goal for me is like, I never want to make like the same record over again, so I want to continue kind of bringing in new things while still trying to hold on to some like signature sound or something that, you know, people could recognize. But that's the fun part, the challenge of it all, I think.
I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, people will look at the album cover artwork
Sure.
and the snarky neon hat that says Chill Wave,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I know that you've mentioned in the past that it's this awful, terrible thing,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's a wonderful thing.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
You struggle with the pros and cons of that.
Sure, yeah, it can mean that, you know, I'm put into a certain category or a box or whatever that can be a little bit restricting. But like you said, the positive side of being categorized in that way is, you know, opened a lot of doors and made, you know, Washed Out kind of maybe stand apart from a lot of other similar music.
I think that you're telling a wonderful story as well throughout the album, because from the initial information that we had via press release and the website
Sure.
and those kind of things, where
Sure.
it says, like, look, you know, there are people that are complaining about their lives, but yet look at everything that you have.
Sure.
And a lot of people taking things for granted, and you know, you
Sure.
have Instagram, you have Snapchat, and you need this immediate gratification to justify your life.
Yeah, I just find incredible humor in that. It's certainly this kind of feeling of maybe being a bit spoiled, and at the same time being always needing some kind of like information or some type of, you know, your brain has to always be going. You know, I find myself struggling with that, where, and the album was kind of a way to sort of work through that in a lot of ways, and just to be able to unplug every now and then, I think is like, that was a message I was hoping to send.
Right. This album was presented as a visual album. Every track has a video associated with it. I think it's awesome. Not to fanboy here, but the music and the visuals just like are so perfect together.
Oh, cool.
I enjoy the you know, the latest track, you know, Hard to Say Goodbye, and
Sure.
also Floating By is one of my favorites.
Sure.
Who are some of the people, or how did you find some of those people to get involved?
I would say like Instagram and Vimeo were like the major tools for like tracking a lot of these people down, and luckily they all were super open-minded about working on the project, and I would say, you know, maybe 95% of the people that I reached out to like ended up working on the project. So yeah, mainly just spending tons of time like watching videos and quickly realize what artists would work best with what song and all of that. So, and the great thing is they all had their own sort of signature styles, and so it was quite easy to kind of merge the song together.
I'm going to paraphrase a YouTube comment as we close here, that there's somebody that was watching one of your videos and said that there's going to be a kid in the 30s that's going to be watching your videos, listening to your music, and saying, man, I wish I was a kid in the 10s so that I could see this guy at his prime, in his prime.
Yeah, that's really strange to think about. Yeah, you know, like I just mentioned, I have a son, like, you know, I guess he'll be like 15 or 16 by then. So, yeah, what he'll be into and maybe what his opinion of my music, or I'm sure he'll be like, oh,
he'll totally rebel.
Dad, yeah, this stuff's terrible. But it's fun to play those games and think about that
Absolutely.
sort of thing.
Kind of like when you were rebelling against the
Yeah,
Allman
it's
Brothers,
funny. That's why
right?
I've never really stressed hard about whether an album is, you know, reviewed well or like sells really well. Obviously, you know, I was talking about sometimes it can be hard to make a living, but I'm the type, I love to like dig as deep as possible and find these obscure records from the 60s and 70s, and I know there's going to be kids like that 30 years from now or whatever, and they're going to, if it's good, they're going to dig it up, you know, so I find hope in that. So
just like you did, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Really enjoy the music, and best of luck with the rest of the tour. And,
yeah, man, thanks a lot.
Great to see you.
Yeah, nice chatting.
It is Washed Out, the latest album called Mister Mellow. You're watching B-Sides on Air.